Fire, fire, fire,
Hello to all. I hope you all are having a beautiful night tonight. This video is going to be a lot different than my other videos because my last video disclosed something to me that was kind of mind-boggling, that I tried to be spiritually neutral with the way that I went about things, and that's completely outside of the person that I am. I am a spiritual being. Like, that is me all the way. So I realized that I've been tailoring my message so that it can come across to many different types of people. But what I was failing to realize is that this knowledge you all do have to come into, and the faster you come into it, the faster we can elevate as a collective, which we have to do so regardless. So I'm no longer going to be tailoring my messages to people that may not understand what I'm talking about, because you're going to understand what I'm talking about either willingly or unwillingly. The people that are going to look for this message, they already know kind of what's going on spiritually. They get it. The people that aren't looking for what I'm about to say, that don't understand what I'm about to say, are the ones who this message is really for. So when I say I'm aware of myself, I'm aware that I'm a spiritual being. I come from somewhere else. I am a God. I understand that. If you don't understand that, you have a lot of learning to do, and I hope you do so in this lifetime so that you don't have to repeat this lifetime to learn this lesson, right? So there's just a lot of people around me, and it sucks to see that it's like they haven't come into this knowledge, and they're not going to on their own, like at all whatsoever. So the people that you find that are most out of touch with themselves are people that are like really tech savvy, or people that are like really great employees, or the ones that can work in this world so great without any question. If you find yourself rattled at the fact that you got to work for somebody, you're probably on the right path. If you never listen to anybody without question, you're probably on the right path. We live in a world where we do without question. And since when is that the right thing to do? Like, since when is that a thing? And when I say do without question, like, we're programmed in this world on earth here to get up, go to school or work, to learn how to live on earth, how to be productive in this realm of reality. What we don't understand, or what a lot of us don't understand, is that this realm of reality is what we're stuck in right now. So if you learn how to operate in this world on earth and you are great at it, chances are when you die, you come in right the fuck back here. Goal is to elevate. You got to live in different forms of life in order to elevate. You have to learn the lessons in life in order to elevate. The goal is to elevate to the highest dimension, to the highest realm of reality. That is the goal. So people who are great employees, really tech savvy, very logical people, just look at the way that they operate in life. Do they have more meaning to life than money? Do they have more meaning to life than the physical or material things that are around them? Do they understand what life is? Do they look at the sunset and can appreciate the sunset and how the world outside of Earth is moving around them, or at least as we think it is? Do they have a sense of being in touch with nature, which is what we stem from? We are the basic elements of this planet. All of us, down to the molecular level, are the same. There is no element that we are made out of that a crystal is not made out of, that a plant is not made out of. When it comes down to, maybe not specifically, but when it comes down to the elements of the earth, we all are the same elements in different form. So when I talk about form and consciousness, we are all on different levels of consciousness, because obviously we don't have the same knowledge that a tree has. The tree doesn't have the same knowledge as we have. We're on completely different levels. We're both living beings. We both operate in this world, but we're completely different in different levels of awareness of ourselves, right? Human is one of the highest consciousnesses. I don't really know if that's a word. But we embody one of the higher consciousnesses. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so we have the ability to be aware of ourselves, and we have the ability to create. We have the ability to manifest the unphysical into physical. We have the ability to create, ultimately. That is the one thing that sets us apart from the other things that roam this planet, is the fact that we can create into the physical realm from non-physical. And like, people just don't get it. And I find it so hard that people don't get it, but then it's like, I have to realize that this is years and years and thousands and billions and trillions of years of programming and industrializing and making us what we are today. Like, do you realize that, okay, so people may think that I'm weird, I'm fucking far off as fuck. Like, I am not from here. I do not belong. I never have, ever, never. But look at what there is if you took away, let's say if you took away the fucking soul, for instance. If you took away soul, love, feeling, all of that, what is this world left with? What is the earth left with? Nothing but just fucking things. Things that we made. Like, we made all these things. The things that we didn't make are the things that we are the most out of touch with, the things that we come from, the things that we resonate with, things that we go back to. Because ultimately, this experience here is only a lesson to teach us something so that we can go on further. You cannot multiply if you don't know simple addition. Like, that's the way the world works. You have to level up. So if you don't leave this realm of consciousness, this reality here on earth, if you don't grasp what life is here, you don't go anywhere and you stay here. People who are tech savvy and who are perfect attendance employees and that don't have a problem with working with people, that don't question the world and why things work, they probably think that when we die, there is no afterlife, or there's a heaven or hell, depending on, what religion you are. But if you really ask them, they have no they have no answer for you. Because they don't understand what life is. And if you talk to somebody that's conscious and that's aware of themselves and aware of the world, they'll tell you that there is no end, there is no start. There's no start, there's no end. What always has been, always is, and always will be. It is a fact, scientifically proven, that energy is not created nor destroyed. We all are energy. That is what every living being on this planet is. It's just energy. A form of energy that has taken a form on Earth. If you look at Transformers, like, that's a way of better explaining it. Like, that those are things, robots that come from outside of planet Earth, literally scan a fucking truck and then transform into this truck so that it can live in this realm of reality, right? So if we take that concept and apply it to real life, like, where do you think these movie concepts come from? Like, these are people that know what the world is and have to portray it in a dumbed down sense so that people may like it or understand it, because probably half of y'all are like, what the fuck is she talking about? And not really understanding. But realize that if you think like the most of the people on this planet, you're headed in the wrong direction. Because if we were to even take it back to civil rights, if it wasn't for Martin Luther King Jr., who decided to think outside the box differently the way than other people else thought, half of us would still be picking motherfucking cotton. And you can understand that nigga was probably weird as fuck, delusional as fuck. Like, for the slaves that remained in slavery, or I don't even know if I'm connecting this right. Was there still slaves around when Martin Luther King was around? I think so. I don't really know. I feel like the history that we was taught is just such a small amount of our history that, like, yeah, I paid attention to it, but I'm not interested in the history here in America as Black people. Like, I'm trying to get to the real shit that get to the real shit, right? So you get the gist of what I'm saying, though, pretty much, is that if it wasn't for people who thought outside the box, if it wasn't for Harriet Tubman, half of them motherfuckers would still have been in slavery and not escaping slavery, because she thought, oh, I could do this differently. Oh, we don't have to do this. This is not what our reality is. This is not how this shit works. Somebody thought differently, took a stance, and moved away from the collective thought here on earth. I am that person that has nothing to do with here on earth. Like, my thought process is so in a different realm, it just doesn't even make sense. And I had to come into this knowledge myself. Yes, I was once where you all are, had no idea. And it just was different life circumstances, different people, different things placed in my life that made me come aware of this knowledge and of this reality, because ultimately that's what it is. And understand that if you think like the rest of the people on the planet, you're not going anywhere, because we were taught, we were programmed to be here so we can be stuck here. Like, the earth, man, I keep trying to put this shit in different terms so that way, like, y'all will really get me, but it's like no other way to really get me. Like, if we want to keep it 1,000, if we want to keep it $1, like, white people is what rules this world, right? White people have all the pieces. They have all the pieces of this earth controlled completely. All of it. All of it. And if you realize how small the population of white people is compared to the indigenous, the minority, the colored people, like, you would just understand that, like, it was all a game. It's all to control us, to keep us away from our power. Like, do you think that we are not treated as people because of the fact that, like, our skin is darker and we just look different? Like, no. There has to be something so much more deep to this than just skin deep. Like, we're gods, literally. We have access to things that they don't. We have access, we have this knowledge, this power, this strength, and it shows in our physical. We are the strongest mentally. Like, look at school shootings, for instance. Like, who the fuck are the ones shooting up the schools? Like, that just goes to show right there. We're the strongest physically. Why did America have to be built off of the backs of slaves? We're strong. We were stronger than them, and we can get a lot more done than they can, and for nothing, because they had the control. And oh man, like, in just so many ways, we're greater. And if we're greater on this realm of reality, you don't think that we're greater in another realm of reality, like in an elevated dimension, in the next dimension? Like, we were programmed to stay here, to be kept here, so that we don't keep elevating. Once we come back as a collective and we are all in sync, all together, and all vibrating the same, like, that is when the world comes back to what it's supposed to be. That's this heaven, this paradise, this utopia that we all look to have or want to go to. Like, yes, some of us who are aware, we'll elevate, we'll keep going, but it's like as long as the rest of ourself is down in this reality and stuck, we can only move so far. Like, it's just stressful because it's like I'm trying to explain this, but I'm trying to use words to explain this, and I'm trying not to touch on a whole bunch of different things because I didn't really want this to be like this long drawn out video. But like I just really wanted you all to know that I have definitely been spiritually lenient, and I've been tailoring my message. Yes, herpes is something that I stand for, and the stigma around STIs and sexual education and the way that we interpret all of that is a goal of mine. But the reason that it is even a goal of mine is because of who I am, because of the spiritual being that I am, because I've come into myself, I'm aware of myself, and I know that this physical plane, this physical reality that people can judge and have something to say about, and you know, all that, like I know that this is only one little chapter in this whole book of my eternity. So that's why I don't give two fucks about shit like this, because it has absolutely nothing to do with who I am. Like, nothing. It has to do with who I am and the impact that I leave on this realm of reality, because ultimately people will still have to experience the human experience to gain the lesson that they're supposed to learn in order to keep elevating. And my impact, what I leave, will make it easier, will make it, no other way to put that, just make it easier to come into the knowledge and to be okay with themselves on this earth. And obviously sex is something that is a huge part of that. So yes, that is my goal. That was my main purpose for my channel, and I feel like I've covered enough ground to let people know that no, herpes is not something that you should be ashamed of. Realize that there's more to yourself. So now I'm going to take my platform that I created, and now I'm going to use it for what I'm really supposed to be using it for, because ultimately that's all I'm here for anyways. So just know that I've come to you guys very, very subtle and very neutral and very not pushy, but very informational and educational. But now I'm going to come to you very spiritual and aggressive and educational and informational, because you do have to come into this knowledge. And I would really hope that you did in this lifetime. Like, that is my goal, to make everyone that's living the human experience. I mean, that's given if you haven't lived it already. Like, I really want you to come into this shit then, because that's the only way to get out of this. And for those of you who don't quite understand what I'm saying, I will make more videos like this, and I will break down the little bitty things that I didn't explain in this video. But just by what I've said so far, I'm sure you could tell that I got a lot brewing in this head of mine, and a lot of knowledge going on, and a lot of it don't come from me. Not this me, not Tiara, not Nauni, not T, not whoever the fuck you think I am, whatever you call me. It doesn't come from this being that you see in front of you right now. Like, a lot of this shit is coming from somewhere else. And like I said, those of you who know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. And those of you who don't, if you continue to watch me, you will know what I'm talking about, because my channel is about to take a little bit of a turn. So that's what this video was about. I hope that all of you can really understand what I'm talking about. Not understand. I hope that you all can really accept and be open-minded to what I'm talking about, because you just should be. And I don't think I've said anything so far that has steered anyone in the wrong or negative way. So please know that I continue to steer you in the right way. Everything that I say is for your good, for the better. It's for elevational purposes. I would do nothing to steer you in the wrong direction or to keep you in a low vibrating state. That's completely not what I'm trying to do. So I really, really, really hope that all of you can just be accepting to this information and accepting to where my channel is about to go. And if you aren't accepting, I just recommend that you keep watching it. I mean, it'll make sense to you eventually. Some stuff just clicks when it clicks, and everything else will click too. But I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you didn't, know that you are one of the ones that I'm talking about that needs to come into this knowledge. It will be something that you have to come into in order to elevate. Like, there's just some things that you have to learn in order to move forward. Like my example of addition and multiplication. Like, there's just things that you have to come into in order to get to the next step. And know that this life, this realm of reality here on earth, all the tangible things that you see, has nothing to do with the elevation of your soul, and that's not what you came here to do. All this shit is just to distract you and to keep you comfortable with being here on earth, and the goal is to leave earth and elevate higher. So if y'all trying to elevate with me, I am more than willing to bring all y'all on this motherfucking journey with me. So that's where we going, and I hope y'all okay with it. If you're not, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to move along, because I don't know how to be nothing but me. So again, thank you all for watching. I'm Nauni. It's about to get real.